here, there, everywhere. That's where you'll find TKO8 Television's Jim Buchanan. Interesting, informative, entertaining, strange, unusual, uplifting, inspirational. All these things and more await you on this 30-minute television journey that'll take you here, there, and everywhere. Broadcasting from TKO8 Studio C, here's Jim Buchanan.
Welcome to Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere. I'm TKO8 Television News Director Jim Buchanan, and once again I thank you for joining me for this 30-minute journey that I hope you'll find is well worth your gas money. On tonight's show, we'll continue getting into the Halloween groove with some of the things that were going on here. Plus, we'll be throwing a big shout out to a very talented young lady from Harrison High School in our talent segment. Our voters education course will feature responses from what could be one of the most heated local races. Moving on to there, we'll make a couple of stops actually. One that'll make you watch the sky, while the other will have you bumping back at the things that go bump in the night. And I'll also introduce you to two fellows who are creeping folks out in a good way everywhere. All that and more is coming up as Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere begins in 60 seconds.
Frenzy on the Square has the latest in women's, children's, and plus-size fashions at very affordable prices. Frenzy has expanded and added name brands such as Tom's Shoes, Big Star Jeans, and Miss Me Jeans. Frenzy has new arrivals daily and unmatched customer service with free gift wrapping, free delivery, and layaway. While you shop, you can enjoy our unique atmosphere as well as our lounge with complimentary refreshments and children's play area. Frenzy, more than just a store, it's a shopping experience.
This is Jeff Crockett, and I am asking for your vote as mayor of Harrison. I believe local government should be accountable to you, the taxpayers, and that city employees should be responsible for controlling budgets. I'll make sure that the growth of our town is well planned with an emphasis on bringing in new businesses that will provide new jobs. I will always put the people of Harrison first and make sure your tax dollars are spent as promised. This is Jeff Crockett, and I'm asking for your vote as mayor of Harrison.
Welcome back. Let's join Jim as he takes a deeper look at things going on here.
Welcome back, and as we take a look at some of the things going on here and in the spirit of Halloween, I thought it would be fun to pop into a random local business to see what all they have to offer you for this haunting season. My first selection is Bethy Bugs, located on the square in downtown Harrison. Now, Halloween has become a huge multi-billion-dollar business. Now, between the candy, decorations, and costumes, it's easy to see how. But to help curb some of those costs, a smart shopper can do well to shop around locally at a place such as Bethy Bugs. I spoke with Beth about what all she has available to you at a not-so-scary price.
Well, we have a very, very large selection of Halloween costumes right now. Most of them range anywhere from $2 to $10. I can't imagine anything over that because we like to keep it, I hate to say cheap, but affordable. We have men's and women's and kids, and a lot of them are new, still in the packaging, and as well as some that have been around a few years, but that lived-in look is okay for Halloween.
Now, also to note, there will be a big Halloween trunk or treat sponsored by the Historic Harrison Business Association on October 30th. And I'll bring you more details on that event next week. Another place that has some special tricks more so than treats planned for you is Independent Living Incorporated. For the past few weeks, the staff has collected some wonderfully frightful exhibits that you are welcome to tour if you dare. TKO8 Television will actually be helping with this year's haunt to help benefit the group, and I can't give away very much right now, but I promise you it'll be a lot of fun for the weekends of October 22nd and 23rd and the next weekend of the 29th and 30th. So for now, I must leave you wondering, what is hidden behind the butcher paper at 204 South Cherry Street? Frightening fun for sure. Allowing some of you to regain your composure, we'll step away from the spooky stuff for a few moments to take a look at this week's Talent Showcase. Tonight's Talent Showcase segment comes from a news story that I covered this past week. Harrison High School senior Darla Humes was officially invited to be one of the elite performers in the country's most prestigious high school marching bands. The TKOA News camera was on hand to capture the ceremony as Darla was honored for this wonderful moment and seeing her talent being acknowledged and rewarded.
We're here today to celebrate a talented student. One who's been selected out of 125 out of more than 1,500 applicants to be a member of the U.S. Army All-American Marching Band.
But she has been selected because he represents what you see up on this stage. These are the values that the Army lives by. The loyalty, duty, respect. All these is what we cherish and hold dear to our heart and what we try to live by. And she has been a prime example of this.
I'm super excited. Mr. Mueller, my band director, nominated me, and he's a member of the MANC, so I got to know it through him, and then I had to apply and go through 3 different types of auditions and everything. Very long, pretty hard, but it was worth it, totally.
She's a great student, she's a great person, and it's very competitive. This is a high honor that's been bestowed on her. There's over 150 people that's been selected across this nation out of thousands of applicants, and she is one of them.
So before we dismiss y'all back to class, just like to give it up one more time for your U.S. Army All-American Golden Goblin, Darla Humes.
And you'll be able to catch Darla and the other 125 Best of the Best high school marching band performers during the halftime show of the U.S. Army All-American Bowl football game coming up on January the 8th. And that's going to be broadcast live on NBC from San Antonio, Texas. In tonight's Earn Our Vote segment, we'll start off with back-to-back responses from the 2 fellows who are looking to earn our vote to become the next Harrison City Clerk and Treasurer. For the sake of fairness, I will roll their responses in the order in which they were recorded. So up first is Alderman Mark Fowler.
The main reason is that's a job that's really have lacked a lot of time and effort in the last 20 years. So I do want to become Harrison's first time full-time city clerk. As of right now, it's considered a 4 to 6 hour a day job, which is a part-time job, but the salary I believe is $28,000. And since that's more than most of the taxpayers make around here, I believe it ought to be a 40-hour a week job. And that's one of my main emphasis. And I do think it needs to have a certain degree of professionalism. I think you need to keep regular hours, at least from 8 to 5, where people, that if they do have questions about the Freedom of Information Act or the meetings when they're scheduled, at least they'll have somebody to talk to besides the mayor's secretary or whoever might answer the phone. Something else I'd like to see too is our ordinances and our resolutions are not organized for general public to come in and look at them. Not only that, but the general counsel, when we talk about an ordinance or a resolution that we passed in the last year, if you don't keep your own records, there's really not very good records at the clerk's office. And I believe that's one of the main things that the clerk needs to do is keep very good records, not only on disk, but they need to be in the paper format so anybody off the street, whether you have a computer or not, can stop by and pick up their information that they need to know about their local government. Those are probably some of the main emphasis that I want to bring to the clerk's job. But I'm also running for city clerk because a number of people in the community have asked me to do that. I've got 12 and a half years experience on the council, so I believe I got more council experience than anybody else on the council. So that's why I filed for that, is so people in my ward would have somebody that would represent them.
And now let's hear from current Clerk Treasurer Jeff Pratt.
I've always loved a challenge, and the Clerk Treasurer's office was one that I felt like I was uniquely qualified to handle. Prior to my arrival, the Clerk Treasurer's office had never been computerized. This made searching Harrison's history very difficult. I believe that knowing the success and the failures from the past will help the City Council make better decisions for the future of Harrison. I now have the last 30 years of history on a searchable electronic format. This allows people to search Harrison's history in a matter of seconds, no more thumbing through book after book of minutes. I've certainly enjoyed serving as your clerk treasurer over the last year and a half, and I'm asking for your continued support and your vote in the upcoming election. Please vote for Jeff Pratt, Harrison Clerk Treasurer.
Our next candidate is actually the first of the 3 candidates for mayor of Harrison to take advantage of this opportunity. Jeff Crockett.
I'm Jeff Crockett, and I'm running for mayor of Harrison, Arkansas, and I'd like your vote. I think you should vote for me because I have the business experience. I have been actively involved in developing commercial property and moving new business into Harrison, Arkansas. I feel that I can control the budget better than the other 2 candidates. I feel that I can control spending, the spending that is currently being uncontrolled by department heads. I feel that there's money in the budget that can be used for raises that is used in the wrong place at this point in time. I feel that the current administration is neglecting to follow the law on the bidding process. Bids are required on city equipment over $20,000, and a lot of times that is being circumvented. I think that the local businesses here in town deserve the right to be notified when we do have items come up for bid, and I think that they ought to have a chance of bidding on these items, and the way it's been in the past, they have not been able to have that chance to bid. I think that I can do a better job for the city all the way around, and I will listen to the citizens. I've been in the retail business before, and I think the citizens ought to be treated as customers, and that the city employees ought to remember that the citizens are the ones that are paying their paychecks. I'm Jeff Crockett, and I'd like your vote for Mayor of Harrison.
And wrapping up this voter education course, here is State Representative John Burris explaining what the second proposed amendment to the Arkansas Constitution entails.
Issue 2 is a little complicated. What it does is remove an outdated cap on the interest rate that retailers can charge when they finance a merchandise that they sell. Now, what you have in Arkansas is kind of a weird system. Banks are not capped. Banks can charge whatever interest rate they want, well below a higher cap. Retailers can only charge 5% over the federal discount rate. We've got interest rates that are at record lows. Right now it's 0.75. So you can only charge 5% over 0.75. So you've got retailers that are having to finance maybe a car, maybe a furniture dealers that self-finance or offer in-house financing. They can only charge 5.75 interest when they're having to borrow it at 8. Well, what that means is they have to raise the prices of their merchandise, which in the end hurts consumers. And it's just kind of a weird and outdated system. So issue 2, or referendum 2, will remove that cap and let the in-house financing rate be capped at 17%, just like for the rest of finance charges. Now, I don't think you'll see any retailers charging 17%. You still have to be competitive, and there's still consumer protections there. But the point is, having to charge a rate lower than what you borrow it at is not business friendly, and it hurts the consumers. So amendment number 2 would change that.
If you missed any of these segments or any previous responses from our local candidates, you can view them online at tko8.com and check out our talking ballot. Coming up, we'll get back into the creepy mood with a couple stops out there, where the first one left me feeling a little bit like Les Nessman.
Sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. The third. There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh my God, they're talking!
Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere will return in a moment to take you there.
Every day, needed tax revenue is forced out of our county. Whether it be to the east, west, or north, surrounding counties of the state of Missouri are getting money that belongs here in Boone County. And it's not just alcohol sales. Those traveling for their beverage purchases also spend more money on gas, groceries, and entertainment in those areas. In essence, these people are forced to take much needed money from our roads, schools, and local businesses. Stop the madness. Vote for alcohol sales in Boone County. Let's get wet. Before we get back to the show, I'd like to personally invite you to my own little slice of the web that's a whole lot of fun. JimsMigos.com is the online web store extension of the show and all things Lone Producer Studios, plus a lot of fun stuff for kids of all ages. At JimsMigos.com, you can get DVDs from previous and current Lone Producer Studios productions, as well as fun stuff not available in our viewing area, such as these fellows. Have some fun and come play with me at jimsmigos.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
Welcome back, as Jim is ready to take you there.
In this first stop of our There segment, I gotta admit, I was a bit ignorant of a tradition that I had no idea was actually happening in the region, and apparently everyone else did. On Saturday, the wife and I stopped by Yellville to take a stroll through the Turkey Trot Festival. I thought it was a lot of fun. Food and games, plus great bluegrass music.
She's long, she's tall, she's 6 feet from the ground.
Well, it seemed like all was well, but unbeknownst to me, there was something else afoot. My lovely wife Alicia was well versed in the annual tradition, however, and kept her eye on the sky. I, however, couldn't believe it until one of the vendors on hand got me up to speed.
He said, we've been here 3 or 4 years now, and he said that they actually have secret places that they take off in the planes, because if you know what, Peter or somebody will show up and they'll try to shut them down. So they take off the secret areas, different places all over the county and flying, and then drop them over the sky. They drop about 10 or 12 a day.
Personally, I find it a wee bit strange that anyone would want to take the risk of being bombarded with a turkey or to be the person who tosses a turkey out of a plane. But to each his own. Still a bit astounded by the event. We did get a better insight after chatting with a young man who was quite excited that he was able to catch and keep one of the poultry paratroopers. Okay, tell me about the experience of catching a flying turkey.
They just grabbed him just after he landed. Grabbed him. The hardest part was keeping everybody else from getting him.
So it was a big brouhaha, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what are you going to do with this fella?
Keep him for a pet.
Again, to each his own, but man, that's kind of creepy and definitely unusual.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
You may have seen this really freaky looking brochure around the area for the Castle of Chaos attraction in Branson, Missouri. Now, it caught my eye a while back, and since I have a 10-year-old boy who enjoys both monsters and video games, this proposed 5D adventure seemed like a perfect getaway. It looked interesting online.
There once was a film star named Carly. This was her last movie. Castle of Chaos. Find Carly.
Battle against evil at the world's first 5D adventure.
The best ride I've ever ridden.
It'll freak me out for sure.
Castle of Chaos, open all year in Branson's Hollywood Entertainment Center.
Well, that looked good and all, but like any good parent should, Alicia and I went to check it out for ourselves first. Plus, I was curious as to how it worked. We spoke with one of the members of the Hollywood Entertainment team, Mr. Chuck O'Day, to learn more about this adventure into the fifth dimension.
So basically you take your 3D, which everybody pretty much knows what 3D is, and then we add 2 additional characters to your senses. You have the sense of touch, which is the chairs and things like that move. Also your sense of smell. And then the 5th dimension is the interaction, which are the guns. So you have a gun that you're shooting different zombies, bats, stuff like that on the screen. And what it does is it collects your score, and you're comparing yourself against other riders at the same time.
After trying it out, Alicia and I both enjoyed the ride, and we do recommend it. I'd love to show you footage, but I was too busy shooting zombies and monsters. Now, this pair of zombie killers from Kentucky also say it was well worth the ticket price.
Will you be back?
Yes, definitely. That was awesome. The best ride ever.
Another thing that we got to do while we were there is take a trip through the Hollywood Wax Museum, and this place was great. Not only can visitors see some incredible lifelike sculptures of some of your favorite Hollywood legends, you can actually get up close and personal with them for some great photo ops.
Honestly say, I've never felt more like Ed Wood than I do right now at this very moment.
I am Dracula. I bid you welcome.
Very inviting, that Count. And actually, if you looked into his eyes, he was remarkably lifelike and creepy. I'm not even kidding. But to help you take him up on his hospitality, it's once again contest time. And thanks to the kind folks at Hollywood Entertainment, Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere is encouraging you to go and play. Up for grabs this week is 2 pairs of tickets to not only the Castle of Chaos, but also with these passes here, you and a friend will be able to check out the Hollywood Wax Museum, Hannah's House of Mirrors, and Shoot for the Stars mini golf course. Now, once again, all you got to do to play and win is either email me at tko8@windstream.net with tickets in the subject line, or send me a letter via the United States Postal Service at Hey Jim, care of TKO8 Television, 500 North Main Street, Suite B, Harrison, Arkansas, 72601. You can enter as many times as you like, so get your name in the hat now, and I'll do a drawing next Monday the 18th and announce the winner on the next show that starts Tuesday the 19th. So come and play. It's fun. In a moment, I'll introduce you to a few of my really cool and creepy friends who stalk the late-night television airwaves everywhere.
Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere will return in a moment to take you everywhere.
Over the last 4 years, we have made significant improvements in Harrison. 4 I am especially proud of: adding a turn lane on Capps Road and Goblin Drive, widening and improving Industrial Park Road, eliminating dangerous chlorine gas at the water treatment plant with the installation of a new purification system, adding more playground equipment to the Lake Harrison Park. I am Mayor Pat Moles, and I am asking you for your continued support to keep good government in the city of Harrison.
Have a car to sell, a bedroom set, even a herd of goats? This is Shane with the Boone County Spotlight. We make it easy for you to earn some extra cash by advertising and are classified absolutely free. The Boone County Spotlight is mailed free to every household in Boone County twice a month. It's in the mailbox, not in the bushes. With a circulation of over 20,000, it's a great way to sell your stuff. And since it's free, every dime you sell it for, you keep. So go to BooneCountySpotlight.com now and submit your free classified ad. It's easy, it's free, it's Boone County Spotlight.
Welcome back, and hold on tight, as Jim now takes you everywhere.
On last week's show, we looked back at some of the legends of horror hosting, such as Vampira, M.T. Graves, Paul Bearer, Cecil Snide, and of course, Elvira. Now for this week, I'd like to introduce you to just a couple of fellows who are keeping the midnight thrills alive. Up first is Undead Johnny, who terrorizes the airwaves in Chicagoland with his World of the Weird Monsters show.
My name is Undead Johnny, and you have just entered the creepy room. Hello and welcome once again to the creepy room. Our first tale tonight of the chilling and weird is a tale of love, lust, murder, revenge, treachery, and concession items.
Now, personally, I can't think of anything scarier than out-of-date milk duds. I spoke with Johnny for a little insight into the weird world that he and his crew have created.
You know, the gist of it was we knew our show was going to be on, local cable access, and we wouldn't be able to make it look like it was not on cable access, so we decided to have that be kind of the format of the show. So we're kind of like a talk show on this fake station called Channel 666, and it's like a show within a show where we host these crappy movies, but you also get to see fake commercials of other programs that are on this station. There's recurring characters from this station and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little bit different from normal horror hosting, where we're not just looking at one camera and talking directly to the audience. That's kind of very much inspired by SCTV, and things like that. So it's kind of a sketch comedy horror host show.
While the World of the Weird Monsters show has been creeping out those in the land of Lincoln for 6 years, now, thanks to the internet, Johnny and his crew have been able to broaden their repertoire beyond the usual frightful fare.
What's great about the internet is it also really puts us in touch with a lot of independent, up-and-coming filmmakers who are looking for new ways, in the corporate Hollywood to distribute their movies. And we've been lucky over the 6 years. We've been able to show a few, newer films from the last year or so. We've been lucky enough to have them let us show their film. And it gives them a little bit more exposure, and it gives us something new to show to our fans.
Another awesomely awful host, and I mean that in the most honorable way, is Mr. Ormond Grimsby, who's been terrorizing the airwaves in Raleigh, North Carolina for the past 5 years. Here's a sample of the uncanny undertaking.
Good evening, boils and ghouls, and welcome to another episode of Monster Creature Feature, the show all about monster movies and monster happenings in and around Raleigh. As always, I'm your carnivorous cadaver of a host, Ormond Grimsby, also known as The Undertaker. Tonight's feature is a dandy, Day of the Triffids. It's a classic. Oh, perhaps you've heard of it? Well, no matter. All you need to know is that people are killed and eaten in this film by giant plants. It's crazy, I know, and seems to be a running theme around here lately, to be sure. I mean, werewolves, zombies, vampires? I can see that, but killer plants? Come on now, I just don't buy it. Of course, this is nothing new. Hollywood is often accused of being too green.
Speaking with Ormond's alter ego, the multi-talented Craig Vance, I learned that his intentions in the creation of Monster Creature Feature is far from terrorizing and much more inspiring.
I grew up in Detroit, and we had Sir Graves Ghastly up there, and he was a huge influence on me growing up. And the monster movies and all of the pop culture from the early 70s. And I started looking around, and I didn't see anything that was inspiring like I had when I was growing up, and I felt really bad for kids coming up today. I felt like they were kind of getting cheated, and around that same time they discontinued making a lot of Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that, and so it was just really dry in terms of I guess content of any real weight, and so I thought, well, why not give it a go and try it myself? And I thought it was kind of a novel idea. It seemed like trying to build some type of localization when everything is becoming more and more fragmented due to cable and the internet, that it might have more power where you would have something that could tie a community together. So that was the inspiration. It was trying to put something together for kids that would inspire them and something that they could get into, and then the idea of trying to get back to a community feeling a part of something.
Again, for the sake of broadcast time, I'm limited to what all I can share, but thanks to the internet, you can see more of Undead Johnny and Ormond Grimsby at their respective websites that you see on the screen. Again, I do want to send out another extra special thanks to Undead Johnny, Ormond Grimsby, and Corpse as Chris for all that they're doing in keeping this frightfully wonderful legacy alive. I appreciate it. Coming up, we'll take a quick peek at next week's show that's again chock full of Halloween happenings here, there, and everywhere. Go away. Make plans now to attend the Operation Give Back concert being held at the Historic Lyric Theater in downtown Harrison on Saturday night. The concert begins at 6 p.m. and will feature Cody Slaughter, Bo Jenkins and the Chain Gang, plus Thunder Crow. Proceeds from the event will go to fund the Enduring Freedom Memorial for the Boone County Courthouse lawn. For more information or to reserve your seats for this sure to be a sellout show, call Brian at 754-2065. It's the least we can do for those who gave all for us. Coming up on next week's show, we'll continue our exploration of Halloween activities planned for the area, plus a few trips out there that are sure to cause a chill. And also next week, we'll be welcoming back the Ozarks Ghost Research Society, who will be sharing some hauntingly good real ghost footage from everywhere. So until next time, I do hope you enjoyed this little journey to here, there, and everywhere with me. I'd like to invite you back this same time next week for another 30-minute television journey. In the meantime, if you've got a person, place, or thing that you'd like to learn more about or see on the show, or if you are a person, place, or thing that would like to be on the show, drop me an email at tko8@windstream.net, or you can just mail me a letter to Hey Jim, care of TKO8 Television, 500 North Main Street, Suite B, Harrison, Arkansas, 72601. I'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to register for the free Castle of Chaos tickets that will be announced on the next show. So until next time, I'm sure we'll see each other here, there, or everywhere. Good night, everybody.
Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere is a Lone Producer Studios production in association with TKO8 Television. To learn more about the show, log on to TKO8.com.